because it is Stewardship Sunday, the time where hopefully we fill out our pledge cards and put them in the offering plate, or get it to the office somehow, I want to talk about two words: response and obligation. Now, a response is a reaction. I say, "The peace of Christ be with you all," and you say, "Man, good job. I was worried about that one. You guys did great." I say something, and then there's a reaction, there's a response, and also with you. Someone gives you a compliment, says, "You know what? That coat looks great on you." What do you say? Thank you. Yes, it's a response, a reaction to a nice thing. When bad things happen, there's a response. When mean things happen, there's a response. Obligation is different. Obligation is a condition. Let's say you get a job. You have obligations in that job if you want to keep that job. Conditions that you must follow in order to keep it. For some reason, for some people, maybe you don't like receiving a gift because now you feel like you're obligated to get them a gift too. Maybe you were invited to a wedding of someone, and so now you're like, "Oh shoot, I'm going to have to invite them to my wedding, and I don't even want to, but because they asked me, it's the nice thing to do." I know of two people that might be running into that right now, or will be running into that. Sorry, Rachel. Obligation, a condition held upon us. The reason I want to talk about this is because I want to talk about the gospel. For those that don't know, our vision as a church, the theme for our Stewardship Sunday is proclaiming the gospel, growing in faith, ministering to all. And what the response and obligation have in common, those two words, is if you don't know the why, you usually don't end up doing it. Why do you say thank you when someone says something nice to you? It's the right thing to do, but also it's very nice. It's very nice for someone to compliment you. So you say thank you out of gratitude. Why do you clock in at 8 and clock out at 5 for your job? Because if you don't, you'll get fired. That's not always true. But this obligation to keep your job, you must do this. Well, why do we need to proclaim the gospel? Why do we need to grow in faith? Why do we need to minister to all? The answer is in the vision. It's that gospel. Many times this text today is lifted up as, look at what this woman has given. And it's an inspiration for us to give as much as we can. One of my classmates really doesn't like this text because of how many pastors have taken advantage of his mother, who's very limited means. But when the pastor would preach on this, she'd give a little bit more in the offering plate and just figure, I guess I won't pay rent this month because, the church needs money. Sometimes this text is used to devour those widows' houses, but today I want to do something different. I want to lift up what Jesus is saying. She, out of her poverty, has put in everything she had. Just perhaps, maybe Jesus is lifting up something that's a human or no mere mortal can do. In a couple chapters, he's going to give everything. He's going to give his body, his blood, his very life for the world. That's the gospel. Jesus Christ died for you. Jesus Christ died for everyone here. Jesus Christ died for the whole world. That's the gospel. That's what gospel means. And so by Jesus highlighting this, he's given them a glimpse. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to die for you. I'm going to rise from death. I'm going to give you forgiveness, eternal life. You're going to be part of the community of saints. So under what conditions do we belong to this community? Under what conditions do we earn this gift from Jesus? There are none. We believe in a God without obligations. Instead, when we think of offering, when we think of pledges, we think of it as a response, not an obligation. Christ has come to us. Christ has saved us. Christ has filled us with His love. Now what are you going to do? How are you going to react? How are you going to respond? This church was built as a response to God's love. We proclaim the gospel as a response to that gospel message. The gospel message is Jesus gave us a gift. Here it is. It's yours. You don't have to do anything for it. So by proclaiming the gospel, we're telling others, hey, this gift is for you too. Here you go. This is from Jesus. When we grow in faith, we do so out of response for that gift. We say, you know what, that's an amazing thing, this story of Jesus, this reality of eternal life. I'm going to read my Bible. I'm going to pray to God. I'm going to ask for help when I need it. I'm going to learn more about God's Word. I'm going to surround myself with other people. We're going to grow. We're going to pray. We're going to talk about God. It's all of a response, again, to that gift. And Jesus, again, has given that gift to everybody. So, of course, out of response for that gift, we minister to everybody. We share that love with everybody who needs it in the ways that they need it. Everything our church is about is a response to God's love, not a condition to earn it. Everything we do for 2019, from now on, everything we want to do as a church, and we're trying to move forward, we're trying to make changes where we might see them. Everything we do in the future is based off of what we are willing to offer ourselves for God's church, this church. How are we willing to offer up our bodies, our time, and yes, even our money for the work of God in the world through this church? In Romans 3 it says, all of us fall short of the glory of God, yet Christ's blood has cleansed us. What is our response? Later in Romans it says, the love of God is this: while we were still sinners, Jesus still died for us. What is our response? Psalm 23, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. Because of God. What is our response? According to John's Gospel, Jesus said, I am the good shepherd who tends to his sheep, the one who will lay down his life for them. What is our response? If you think of everything you have in this world, myself included, everything you have become, everything you will become, everything you own or have earned, God has been there the whole time providing it for you. Everything. So again, how will you respond? Offering for a long time used to be seen as an obligation. We even have it in the church record that they called it paying your dues. But when you do that, it becomes a lot like a draft. I'm not speaking against the military draft when our country needs it. It's good to use it. But then joining the military is not a response. It's not out of gratitude, but it's an obligation. And we had people join the military when they were drafted. They served well. But there were also those who fled, who ran away, because they weren't prepared for that obligation. How much different than those who openly enlist out of gratitude. Gratitude for what their family has done, for what their country has done, for what they can do. Responding to the call to serve, rather than the obligation. Today, out of God's goodness and mercy, we put forth our offerings. We put forth our pledges. We openly enlist ourselves in thanks for all that God has provided. And we ask ourselves that question: how will you respond to God's love. Amen.